Hey everyone, my name is Anders, and today we're going to talk about this week's Global Labs test server patch. Attack, move, casting speed reduction effects have been changed this week. These effects will no longer stack on other players in PvP, and the cap or speed reduction effects has been reduced to 60%, which includes add-ons. So 50% from skill effects, 10% from add-ons. This will prevent someone being hit with multiple slow effects from different sources and stacking. If player A, for example, hits a target with a 50% slowdown effect, and player B in the same guild or party hits that same enemy target with the same skill, the effect will simply refresh and not stack. Arsha server changes also seem to be going live. Finally, we did see this talked about a lot. It is a little unclear if they mean another Arsha server with these new rules is being added, but that is what it sounds like right now. It sounds like there is going to be a new Arsha server that is now a PvP always on channel, meaning you will always have PvP active. You no need to flag up like before. The grind and karma mechanics will remain the same, except now everyone has a permanent ghillie. Your real names are going to be hidden outside of your party. I don't think they went back and made it so platoons could work like this, but I could be wrong. You should only be able to set up parties in this new channel. Effects that apply to your allies, so large AoE healing effects or buff effects, will only apply to your party, and guild members can freely attack each other if they're not in a party together. I've heard zero good feedback about this change in this additional Arsha channel, so we'll see how it pans out. Moving on, we have some changes to several classes in terms of damage balance. The first one is Awakening Sorceress. She receives some more damage to Violation, 18% more in PvE. It will now also rotate the skill direction through the camera movement more smoothly when moving forward. Flow Vial Plan Fragment Consumption has been removed and will now always apply the enhanced version of that damage on that second hit. Range for the first and second hit have been changed to the widest range. It now also links with more skills and deals 21% more damage. Grim Reaper's Judgment now correctly applies the charged attack damage when using the core version of this skill. For Succession Musa, it had the first two hits of Gale removed. This means the floating CC has also been removed as well. Damage has increased overall by 9% on the last hit. Rising Storm Blaze and Succession Rising Storm Blaze cooldown has been reduced to 15 seconds. Carver PvE damage has been reduced when used on cooldown, but overall damage has been increased by 16%. Backstep Slash now deals 30% more damage. Blind Slash now deals 55% more damage. Blooming now deals 11% more damage, and Dragon Bite now deals 31% more damage. Awakening Musa saw some improvements for Inferno Slash. It is now on a 7-second cooldown. It now has an add-on, I think according to the notes, at least that's what it says, and it now deals 8% more damage. Eradicate also has a new skill link. Spinner now deals 22% more damage. Searing Slam now deals 8% more damage. Projection 14% more damage, and lastly Pyro Storm for Awakening Musa now deals 8% more damage. Succession Maehwa now has Divider dealing 22% more damage. Petal Swirl 50% more. Decapitation and Red Blade Decapitation 20% more. Blind Slash 16% more damage. Blind Thrust 30% more damage. Backstab 20% more, and Razorblade Corolla, the Magnus skill for this class, now has a 7-second cooldown that deals 11% more damage as well. That can also be used by Awakening. Succession Hashashin, Ridge Reaver now has a 7-second cooldown. Chosen Blade now has a 12-second cooldown, and the duration of add-ons has been reduced from level 3 to level 2. Dune Slash no longer has a DP debuff and instead has an AP buff of 20 for 10 seconds and now deals 20% more damage. The AP buff of Al's Command and Hality Throw have been deleted as well. Quicksand now deals 35% more damage, and Al's Dominion now deals 10% more damage. Awakening Hashashin, Serpent's Coil now has a 10-second cooldown, which means because of that the add-on level has decreased from 3 to 2. Retribution now deals all the hits in the same location and now deals 9% more damage. Flow Condemnation now deals 5% more damage. Dune Slash 15% more. Flow Dune Strike 15% more. Collapse 10% more. Flow Veracity 5% more. Crown Kick 55% more damage, and Silent Breach now deals 20% more damage. Succession Striker, Flow Prey Hunt will now activate the Bloody Fang passive, which grants you crit rate plus 30% for 10 seconds, so that's an additional effect you'll get when you have Flow Prey Hunt active. The Wolf's Explosive Fangs Rabam will now deal more more damage if you're under the Prey Hunt effect, and it now deals 18% more damage this way. Roaring Tiger will now consume shards and deal more damage. With Energy Discharge, it deals 5% more damage overall this way. Flow Backstep will now forward leap and attack when linking it with the Rage Hammer skill. I think that's what they mean by this change or this line, but let me know in the comments. Rage Hammer now deals 15% more damage. Flow Savage Fang will now consume shards and deal more damage with Energy Discharge. Adamantine now deals 15% more damage. Crimson Fang 16% more, and Somersault now deals 12% more damage. And finally, the last class to get some class balance changes is Awakening Maegu. Fox Flare Cleave now has a 9% evasion debuff for 10 seconds. At first I thought this evasion shred was going to be for Succession Maegu, but it is not. I got excited for nothing. It is only for Awakening. Less exciting, but it is still really good for the class, especially for the Awakening spec. The crit damage passive buff as well got duration increases from 20, 10, and 5 for the different levels to 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and then 10 seconds for the highest level. That is a big deal. Interested to see how she does now at high-end grind spots with more damage and now that evasion shred. She also got damage increases for Emberclaw Torrent, that's 10% more there. Emberclaw Slash, 10% more. Emberclaw Sweep, 10% more. And Emberclaw Finale, 5% more damage as well. So those were the class balance changes for the week. These will go live in 2 weeks for most servers, but next week for Korean servers, some things may change, and if they do, I'll let you know in a video. Now moving on to other changes, the raffle event coin can be placed in the family inventory. Black Shrine bosses got more improvements. Most of these concern the number of hits you take from bosses, so you're going to take fewer hits overall, but more damage per hit. Green Artisan Gathering minigame has been improved across the board. For gathering, you need to find less roots and have 5 more seconds overall to do that minigame. Animations have been removed completely, and if only the roots are exposed, it will automatically succeed, regardless of whether or not you have dug up the other soils. For lumbering, you now have 5 more seconds for the minigame, and the gauge will now fill half a second faster. For mining, you'll have 5 more seconds for the minigame. For tanning, the knife will drop less drastically when no key is pressed. For butchering, you now have 5 more seconds for that minigame, and the gauge filling has increased from 2 to 3 seconds. Correct images have been also changed to always be 3. For fluid collection, the gauge filling time has been increased from 1.2 seconds to 1.8 seconds, and the gauge has been changed to fill by 40% when hitting the perfect range and by 30% when hitting the good range. For ocean content, we got some major changes to shipbuilding. The health of young sea monsters has been reduced by 80%. You can now obtain titles for killing sea monsters. There are new titles for ocean elites as well. There are new hotspots of young sea monsters north of Aquila. Sick Hekaru have been added near Velia, and these will now move around much less and can still drop the sea monster essence needed for early shipbuilding crafts. Dailies and weeklies have been improved. You can now choose an additional reward from your dailies. There are 3 new weeklies you can take from Ravakeld NPC that will reward you with even more items, and these can also be accepted and completed at the same time as your dailies. The number of barters you need for certain items to show up to craft your character has been decreased to 1,000 and 1,500 instead of 3,000 and 5,111 as before. Aquila coins have been revamped as well. They will now be exchanged for more items when you have 50 instead of 150. Sailor XP rates have been massively improved as well, so it'll be easier to grind out your sailors and get the ones you want. Old Moon Grand Prix will now have improved matchmaking. You can queue, and once accepting the match, you will have less time to wait for the race start. The matchmaking itself will only be live during certain hours of the day, and you will need at least 5 players in the lobby after queuing to have a race start. Turning speed has been improved for those horses as well. Speed level will not decrease if you drift under level 4. You will also accelerate quicker through the levels than before, and weekly rewards have been added. You can also get Old Moon Grand Prix coins as well as mythical feathers and other tier 10 horse materials. Individual reward chests for races have also been improved to give you more coins for finishing 1st to 10th, and these reward and exchange NPCs have been updated to include Old Moon managers in all major cities. For grind spots, Crypt of Resting Thoughts has been improved to have reduced evasion on monsters by 20%. Health on monsters because of this has been increased by 30%. Additional monster density has been added throughout the grind spot as well, and the location of some monsters has been changed. and dailies in Balanos and Calphion will now reset at midnight every day. There was an issue where Dreamy Ardonaut would have the wings disappear because of terrain processing issues. This has been fixed, and the Shell Bell outfit has undergone some changes as well. You can now exchange that outfit for different types of that outfit available through the Training Under Foe NPC. And that's all the updates for this week's Global Lab. Some really good changes overall. Awakening Maegu, especially with those passive buffs, looks to be strong, and that evasion shred, we'll see how she feels once these go live. Character building will be a lot easier now with these changes. For new players, of course, it will also be extremely nice, and I'm still wondering what is going to happen with these Arsha channels. If they add an additional Arsha channel like it says here, I feel that would split the already niche Arsha PvP crowd, and if they do replace the only Arsha channel with this new method, that won't be good either in my opinion, so we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.